What's going on, everybody? Dogman Dan here. We are in Warframe and we're talking TIBERON today. Yes, the TIBERON guide is now ready. So, without further ado, let's get right into this thing. So this one's a really nice weapon. It's not going to be everybody's taste. If you're not into burst weapons, it's probably not going to be something that's going to be your flavor. But if you're in the burst weapons, this is a great weapon to have. We'll do some quick comparisons here in a moment against other burst weapons. However, this one's fairly easy to get. It is a mastery rank 4, so it's very low level in terms of picking it up, which is good. It's in the marketplace, which is good. It does require a Latron in order to build the weapon, but a Latron is a mastery 0 anyway. It's quick and easy to pick it up, build it in your foundry, and then use it just to make this weapon if you so choose. So I like this weapon. It does fit very well with my playstyle. Let's talk about the basic stats here, just so that way you can understand them. So you have slash at 15, puncture at 30, impact at 15. It's a burst rifle. Status is really low at 2.5%. Reload is 2.3. Not too bad. Magazine is 30. Fire rate 6.7. Critical multiplier 2. Critical chance only 5%. Really nice accuracy at 33.3%. So this weapon does have some really nice points to it. It does have some weaker points to it, but it has some really nice points to it. Now if we just do some comparisons here, we take the TIBERON to the Burstin, which is your first burst rifle that you're able to get in the game, and you'll see that the TIBERON has some advantages, probably most advantages to this weapon, though Burstin does have a higher status and magazine capacity, but that is pretty much it with the Burstin. The Burstin to me has always been just a quick fodder weapon, if you will. Now if you take the TIBERON Burst, the Burstin Prime, which in my opinion would be the upgrade, then you see that the Burstin Prime slightly better on slash damage, but puncture and impact is actually down. Status is up. Magazine and fire rate are up on the Burstin Prime, which if it's set up properly, the Burstin Prime would be, in my opinion, slightly better than the TIBERON, though the TIBERON has some definite advantages here, and if you play it right, it could be just as powerful, if not even better, to some extent in the Burstin Prime. And then finally, the top rank right now for me in terms of burst weapons would be the Cerberus, which is a Tenno Clan Lab weapon anyway, and it does have a higher mastery rank, but you see a higher slash damage, you see higher impact damage, you see a status chance, which just does have a really nice status chance when it's maxed out, and you see a really good critical chance. So overall the Cerberus does have the better in terms of overall stats. However, the Cerberus is a advanced burst weapon, if you will, and it does require a lot of skill to make it work for you. It is not a very giving weapon. You have to be accurate with your 2 shots every time that you do shoot that weapon, whereas TIBERON, you don't have to be as accurate. You have a lot more to work with. Okay, so with all that said, let's go ahead and get right into the build. Alright, now that we have gone through some of the basics here, okay, I'm going to show you the 2 builds that I've got set up. I'm going to show you the build that I play the most and have been playing, and I'm just going to show you an extra build as well that you could utilize. So we had one V slot that came with it. I ended up putting 2 extra V slots and 2 dash polarity slots for my particular builds. So my main build that I'm setting up here, this is not the highest DPS build and all that jazz, but this is exactly what I said it would be on my first look. It is a straight raw damage build. Okay, you see a max duration, you see the max split chamber. I'm using both shred and metal auger here, maxed rank, to give me the most punch through that I can get, which would essentially allow me to shoot through up to 5 enemies if they're lined up through walls, through doors, and all that jazz. So it gives me a little chance to have some extra flexibility if I'm not directly on target and they start to run behind a wall before I can, kill them. I've got this all set up for me. Not much of a status chance, of course, but what I wanted to do was play a bit towards the best parts of this weapon that I could. So of course we added some extra piercing hit in here, so you get that you get the increased damage up to 196.4. Then I went with the Fanged Fulisade and slash, or the Sawtooth Clip for the slash damage increase to bring it to 188.8. And I am going to use Fast Hands to drop down the reload speed so this thing is in and out. I did not want to use heavy caliber. I put heavy caliber on while I was testing it, and I did not like the accuracy loss with this one because I do like the ability to have all those shots in one small cluster. Essentially, you're looking at 6 shots coming out of this weapon with the split chamber, remember, so 5.7 shots every time you're shooting. If you get that in a nice small cluster, you can shoot clear across the map with this one, and you're going to get your damage in there. I've been running it pretty much everywhere and enjoying it. And again, it's just based off of my taste. So this is how I've been running it mostly. No elements on this bad boy. It's not the most powerful weapon. It is challenging in this state, but it is fun in this state as well. Now, if you're into elements, I'm going to leave you with this setup right here then. And of course you can always swap around your elements itself to get different combinations. We're going to do Serration, Split Chamber. We're going to still have Shred in here for some punch through, so it gives me a 2 punch through instead of a 5, but we got that, and we like the fire rate increase as well. Then we're going to use Cryo Rounds and Hellfire in here to get our blast damage. I'm still going to use the Fanged Fusillade in here to bring up my slash damage, just so that my slash is nicely increased in here as well, even though puncture is down below the slash, but we have the punch through, so we're fine. And of course we're going to have Infected Clip and High Voltage here for our corrosive. And the reason I went with High Voltage was so that way I did not have to put a 5th Forma on. That brings up the status a little bit. Nothing too special, but hey, status chance is status chance regardless. So this is a alternate build you could do. If you went with 5 Forma, you could drop in the Shocking Touch here, and you get your max pointage, which would be about 543 as well. But this one works pretty well. I've enjoyed this one a little bit, and I say a little bit because going back to this one is the one that I'm enjoying the most personally of my own taste, and I've been ruffle stomping all along. So anyway, that's it. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Let me know, comments below. Like this if you did, subscribe if you're not subscribed, and stay tuned. We'll have more.